All right, guys, here we go. This is if we have a graph instead of an equation, but the same principles apply. Parallel lines must have the same slope, but different y-intercepts in order for them to be parallel. So that's what we're looking for. So if we look at these two lines, automatically your eye draws to this one to look like it's the one that's parallel, and it automatically draws to this one to show, hey, that does not look parallel. So in order for us to be sure, what we're going to have to do is to find the slope of each of these four lines. So let me zoom in so you can tell what I'm doing. We're going to find the slope of this top line first. We automatically tell, hey, they don't have the same y-intercept. This y-intercept is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this y-intercept is -1. So that part we've got out of the way. Now we just have to make sure they have the same slope. This one has a slope of up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and so forth. So we know that the slope of this line, m equals up 1 over 1, which is just 1. As long as the bottom line is also up 1 over 1, we're good to go. So we can start here, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Sure, I feel pretty good about saying, hey, that slope is also 1. Therefore, yes, they are parallel. All right, so we can write parallel. You're going to have to do that on your Schoology assignment. Let's look at this one to make sure that these are not parallel. So the slope of this top one is up 1 over 2. Slope is positive 1 over 2. As long as this one is not positive 1 over 2, we should be good. So up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Okay, so that slope is 1 over 1, which is 1. So if we look at these two, this slope is 1/2. This slope is 1. And because 1 is bigger than 1/2, we can tell, visually that this is steeper. So therefore, these are not parallel. We know that they're not perpendicular because they're not opposites and they're not reciprocals. So it's not parallel, it's neither. All right, let's look at these bottom two. I'm going to turn it around. Now we're looking to see if these lines are perpendicular. So if we look at this first one, come on. Does that make 4 right angles? I don't think so. So we can automatically tell, hey, this is not perpendicular. Hey, this is not parallel. So this is neither. All right, we look at this one. Well, this looks like it could be perpendicular. So let's zoom in so we can see if we can find the slopes of each of these lines. We first have to find two perfect ordered pairs, right? Okay, so here's one and there's one. That's all we need. Well, it's going down, so it's negative 1 and over 2. Negative 1 over 2. So the slope of this one is -1/2. Okay, and let's see if we can think for a minute. In order for this line to be perpendicular to this line, the slope would have to be the opposite, which is positive, and the reciprocal, which would be 2 over 1. So we're looking for positive 2 over 1. So let's see if we can find that. There's a perfect point. There's another perfect point. I rise 2 and run 1. It is positive. So this slope is positive 2 over 1, which is the opposite of negative and the reciprocal of 1 over 2, because you could write it as 2 over 1, 1 over 2. So, yes, these are perpendicular. Yay! So that's what I'm asking you to do in your Schoology assignment, is to determine if the lines, if their graphs are parallel or perpendicular. But the same theory applies. You must find the slope of each of these. You must determine, hey, do they have the same slope? Or, hey, do they have opposite reciprocal slopes? And that's just something that you're going to have to remember. But do keep in mind that I'm nice and I leave it on the board in blue and red. So do your best. Oh, and I also want to let you know that if you haven't heard about the Paris attacks that killed almost 300 people, I think, about some crazy ISIS people that just came in and just killed family members, kids, women, children, fathers, sons, just say a prayer for them, please, in your own way. This is, our month is caring, and it's very important that we come together with the good in humanity and let people know that, we're not going to stand for that no matter what country you're from. So if you could just say your own prayer in your own way. Yeah, I really appreciate it. You are great kids. Keep up the hard work.